If you support a Premier League club that is not Manchester City, chances are that you don't really like Erling Haaland. You might recognise him as the very good player and goalscorer that he is, but you surely would not like him going up against your team. And the reasons are pretty obvious. Where do we start? This lad just scored 8 goals in 4 days. 8 goals in 2 games. Nah, scratch that. 8 goals in just a little over 120 minutes of football. Do you realise how very crazy that is? Remember that some people said that this same Haaland would struggle in the Premier League. There were people who trolled him for failing to score and even missing a sitter in his first official game as a Man City player, the Community Shield game against Liverpool in July. But look at him now, breaking nearly every goal-scoring record there is in just his first season in England. In case you don't know why other football teams in England and in Europe hate Erling Haaland, here's why. Firstly, this cyborg of a player chose to join a super team like Manchester City. If he had joined an average team, maybe it would have felt a little balanced. But he joined a super team and made them even more super. These days, every Man City player seems to be playing just to create chances for Haaland. And to make matters worse, Haaland himself is one hell of a finisher. You dare not give this Norwegian giant half a chance. He'll bury you immediately. And that's one reason he's very dangerous. He scores many great goals and also scores many crappy ones. Take a look at his 5-goal haul against RB Leipzig in the round of 16 of the Champions League this season, for example. Apart from the penalty, you could say that every other goal he scored that night was from half a chance. They were basically all just rebounds. But one thing is constant. He was always at the right place at the right time. You might call him lucky, but come on. How lucky can one person get? But the truth is, this right here is one reason teams hate him. Imagine being a Leipzig defender and going back to watch all those goals from Haaland. You weren't outdone by some insane skill, you simply just fell to pure predatory instincts. How the hell could you even have stopped that? Okay, let's say you're a Burnley defender. You're in great form and you're watching the Leipzig game trying to figure out how to stop this beast from going berserk against your team, only for him to end up placing your goalkeeper twice and scoring one right place, right time goal. How the hell would you not be mad about that? And of course, this guy's season didn't just start here. In his very first game in the Premier League, he scored 2, which started a running of 9 straight league games where he made at least 1 goal contribution. Of course, that run included his first ever Manchester derby, where he scored a hat-trick and assisted a further 2. Speaking of assists, that's another reason teams hate Haaland. When he's not scoring, he's probably creating. And he does that quite too often for someone rival fans like to refer to as a tap-in merchant. As we speak, there's no centre-forward in the Premier League who has more league assists than him. So maybe think twice before you say he's nothing more than just a poacher. I mean, a mere poacher cannot score some of the goals Haaland has scored this season alone. Is it the 3rd goal against Crystal Palace, or his goal from outside the box against Wolves in the first leg? Even the 2nd against United in the first derby was not a poacher's goal at all. That was a very difficult finish, and of course, there's surely no leaving out that acrobatic finish against his former club, Borussia Dortmund, in the Champions League. How that goal didn't even get nominated for a Puskas, we still don't know. And remember, we're talking just this season alone. If we decided to throw things back, then we'd start looking at his rocket of a shot against PSG in the Champions League, his flying kick against Wolfsburg, or his acrobatic volley against Schalke for Dortmund in the Bundesliga. Anyway, the point is, all these goals are really scary, and watching them, you can understand why players and fans hate to face him. Another reason teams hate him is because he's always looking like he'll score against you, no matter who you are. He currently has a goal scoring rate of 1.1 goals per 90. And this is excluding penalties, by the way. Only one person has put up better numbers than this in a single season, and that's Lionel Messi in the 2012-13 season. If you remember, that season still remains Messi's peak goal scoring season, and Haaland is getting close to that number in just his first season in England, and at the age of 22. What a lad. You know what it means to average more than 1 goal every 90 minutes of football? That's absolutely insane. And as far as the Premier League is concerned, Haaland looks set to score the most non-penalty goals in a single season in the history of the English top flight. He currently averages 1.06 non-penalty goals per 90, which is the best rate the Premier League has ever seen. As a matter of fact, only one person has ever finished a season with an average of over one non-penalty goal per 90 in the Premier League, and that's his predecessor, Sergio Aguero. And even if you compare him to the greats from other leagues, Haaland's numbers are still very scary. People like to say Mbappe is miles ahead of him, but that's not true, because the Norwegian has a better career scoring rate. And it's not only higher than that of Mbappe, it's also higher than that of Suarez, Ibrahimovic, Lewandowski, Ronaldo, and Messi. These are the greatest of the great goal scorers of the last two generations. What this means is that, if Haaland continues at this rate, he could finish his career as the most prolific striker ever. Now, tell me you wouldn't hate this guy if he was on your team. He's just such a freak. And yeah, you hate him because he scores in every other game these days. But what's crazy is that, even when he's not scoring or assisting, he's still being an absolute terror to the opposition defence. His 6'5" self will always be in the box, pressing and bullying the defenders, and even the goalkeeper, forcing them to yield or make an error. That's the kind of machine we're dealing with here. And you know what? He's never tired. This dude could play full games all season and would still look sharp on every single match day. Just wow. And we'll end with this. Some people who don't like him have accused him of not being a big game player, but that's obviously not true. They hate the goal machine, and are just trying to downplay his incredible achievements in front of goal. This season alone, Erling Haaland has recorded 9 goal contributions in 8 games against the current top 6 in the Premier League. In the EFL Cup, he scored against Liverpool, and recently, he scored 3 in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. And then, in the Champions League, he scored against Sevilla, Dortmund, and of course, the record equaling 5 against Leipzig in a knockout game. In case you don't know, only 2 players in the history of the UEFA Champions League have ever scored 5 goals in a single knockout game: Lionel Messi and Erling Haaland, period. So how on earth can it be said that a guy who has put up these numbers in games of this magnitude is not a big game player? But we get it. Anytime Haaland is on the pitch, it looks like Man City have an extra player. So it's not surprising at all that rival teams hate him and hate going up against him. This dude is currently topping the goal-scoring charts in the Premier League and the Champions League. Even in the FA Cup, where he's just played 2 games, he's still in the top 3. Say whatever you want about Erling Haaland, but he is inevitable in front of goal, and other teams hate him because he cannot and will not stop scoring against them. Already, he has broken so many records since moving to England. What other records do you think the Norwegian will break before the season is over? Let us know in the comments. Remember to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. See you in the next one.